willful violations of the agency's authority and responds to it as appropriate. So then, I ask you, like Dianne Feinstein, what happened to those employees? How come they haven't told us that? The truth is, my speculation, and I would be willing to put big money on this, nothing happened. Nothing of significance to those employees because they're government workers and they know that there is going to be no criticism from people like us because we don't know. We never know because it's a national security issue. That's what they tell us. What happened to them? If they're not fired and put in jail for this stuff, then you are not correcting the problem. You are not disciplining them, and it's going to continue.
Dianne Feinstein, too, is coming out saying there's substantial oversight on these programs. In what capacity? I want to know what substantial oversight she's talking about when members of Congress, members of the Senate come out and say they had no idea this was going on. The House and the Senate, that is your oversight. Those are the people who are supposed to be in charge of regulating these programs, whether or not they should be in effect or not. And she's saying substantial oversight. Some of these people had never even heard of PRISM or X-Keyscore or Love-In. That's complete BS. I want to know what oversight she's talking about. And you're right. I want to know how they were dealt with as appropriate.
How many people? How many cases? How come we don't know this?
You know what is appropriate when somebody violates those national security procedures? Fired, jailed, treason. That's appropriate. Anything less than that is not appropriate.
What would happen if I were to bug Glenn's offices or somewhere else at work? Would I still have a job when they found out?
No. In fact, you'd be in jail if you put a listening device in Glenn's office.
What if I spy on my neighbor? I'd go to prison.
Yes.
How come they're not in prison? And you know how you know they're not? Because when they said one employee was disciplined, they would have said, we sent some people to jail. You would have known about the cases anyways. Because you would have heard about some guy in Palo Alto, California, or Walla Walla, Washington, or someplace that's going to on trial for some violation.
Well, and after all this, too, if anybody had been actually disciplined, they would have put their face on the front page of every newspaper, too, saying, yes, we know the NSA spying is problematic. If there ever is any sort of wrongdoings or oversteps, this is what happens.
We have to stop paying attention to party and playing the tit-for-tat back-and-forth game and all of that nonsense. And you need to start looking and listening to the people who are defending this stuff versus the people who are not. Because it doesn't know party restriction. You've got Pete King, the congressman from New York, justifying this stuff. You've got, from Michigan, our congressman, Mike Rogers, who defends this nonsense as well. They're both Republican, supposed conservative Republican. You've got Dianne Feinstein, who is about as liberal nutcase as you can get for the Democrats, defending this. The bottom line is that they're defending this. Any breach, even the smallest, even the most seemingly inconsequential breach of your privacy, your personal freedoms, in the name of security is wrong, and they are the progressives with a progressive control freak mindset. They're just in a different party.
Folks, we've said it before, we'll say it again. Anytime the Republicans and the Democrats get together in a room and really like something together, you know that is horrible for the country.
Quick break, more of your calls and emails coming up. It's the Morning Blaze.
The Morning Blaze with Doc Thompson.